Suicide has affected me and touched my peers and my family, obviously through losing friends and relatives. It affects everybody in Nunavut because of the sense of community that we have, and for those reasons at a young age I've always wanted to try to do things to create positive opportunities for young people. My commitment to working with young people has always been through doing positive things, and because of the way that I've been affected by suicide. One of the biggest things for me in any youth program that I've been involved in is trying to teach them and encourage them how to express themselves. It's the hardest thing, especially when you're developing to an adult. It's really hard to know who you can talk to or how you can express it. Now, you don't always have to be talking to people, but there's different ways and arts and forms that you can express your emotions, whatever suits you best. And so I've always tried to encourage that when I've worked with young people.
What are your thoughts on the idea that some people say that when there's been a tragedy like a suicide, that especially with young persons and youth, it's best to sort of just pretend it didn't happen, and that way people will go back to their normal way.
We were always, told that, grieving and being sad was totally normal, but also getting up and living your life is also very normal, because not just suicide, any kind of death we grieve. It's not just suicide. Yeah, suicide is a different kind of emotion, but at the same time death happens to everybody, and it affects everybody, and we just have to, we have to cope through it. We have to go through the whole process. Sometimes it takes longer for others, and sometimes people just can continue their life easier. But I think it's very important that we go through those emotions and go through it with the people that are affected as well, or have been affected by a similar situation. I think reaching out to people, sometimes people don't receive it that well because they don't know how to deal with some people struggling, but people reach out for help all the time, especially I think with social media becoming so big. There's a lot of people crying out. Easier for them behind the computer than calling a friend or going to see somebody or talking to somebody. I think for the communities, the only people you have is your family and friends to be able to get you through, to help you.
So a cry for help.
Allowing yourself to have positive opportunities, and knowing that the biggest thing has always been relationships, and you hate hearing that there's many other people that, but I think learning to not depend on anybody else and trying to be independent is very important, because those have been a big factor in all of the attempts, and the people that I've lost has been at that moment. There's a fight and you think your world's going to end because this one person who wasn't there forever is suddenly not going to be there, and you feel like you can't survive without them. People need to learn about relationships and understand how to have a healthy relationship and how to cope with breakups and things like that. I think that's the most important part, and I think because it happens all the time, and people need to learn how to deal with those situations. And it can be better than it was before, and often it is, if you can get past that.